Space, the final frontier. This is the 2.5-year journey of the build of the Starship Enterprise. Hello, I'm Chris, this is Gross Models. Welcome to stage 67, the start of pack 18 of Star Trek The Enterprise D, NCC 1701D. I've already done the window bit, as you know, you've seen me put little bits of window in there before. I haven't attached that to it yet. I shall be doing that now with a BP screw. Let's have a look. Go, one BP screw prepared for that. I have my new electric screwdriver to use to do this. We'll see how it works. I have been using it on other builds, but this is the first time it's being used on an Enterprise build. It's magnetic. It holds the screw in there quite nicely, and that screw just goes in there, just like that. Doesn't go. It's not lined up properly. I haven't got, there you go, that's, snap that down properly, and then that goes in there, and then that would do up into there. It does up quite nicely, a lot quicker than trying to mess around with fingers and screwdrivers and things. So yeah, I'm quite happy with that. I'm going to do that up a little bit tighter than that actually as well. Here we go, just like that, easy. Now this is obviously then being fitted to the rest of the saucer section. We're not using a couple of things that we've got here so far. I'll get rid of those at the moment as well. We're not using that quite yet, the other part of the nacelle support. We will be using the wires and some of the screws. Let's move those over there. We're also going to need the other panel that we haven't finished with yet. So let me move things out of the way to about there, I think. Move things around behind the scenes so I can then bring up the hugeness that is becoming the saucer section. It's not going to get any bigger than this. It's obviously just going to get deeper. We're going to be working on this section down here. So if I turn that around like that, then you can sort of see what I'm doing, and I can sort of see what I'm doing. This is going to fit on there where we've already got the lights under here. But before we do that, we need to fit in the new lights, which are going under here in this maze of bits. Let's get the plugs the right way around first. Actually, the easier way of doing this is going to be with a pair of tweezers. So that's going in there. These are the same, so it doesn't matter which one's which. I'm going to get them both plugged in first, and then worry about where they're going to go. I think I've got this the wrong way around. I've got that, get that the right way around to go in there, which conveniently is the opposite way around to the one next to it. So that should go in there. And if I flick the switch on, the bulbs come on. So that's working so far, so good. Let's do the same with the other one, just along next to it. In there somewhere is another socket for this one to go into. A bit like that. And yes, they're all lit up. So that's so far so good. So the panel that we've just got here is that way round and going to be flipped over to fit down here like that. So before we can do that, we need to put the other two screws in down here, which are more BP screws, and they're going to be holding in those two bulbs, or two of those bulbs, should we say, because there's two on each of these. There's 4 bulbs to play around with. It looks like we are using take the bulbs from the first set of lights, which is the one that's plugged in further down, put them in there. Right, so I separate these a touch. These are going to have to go underneath and come up. They're going down there, so they're coming all the way down to here. Let's feed those through. Again, tweezers will be useful for this. Feed both of those through there. Come on, you want to come through there as well. There we go. And through the next one as well. Go, yeah, plenty of wire there. Which way has they got those? They've got the yellow green on that side, in there like that. This one on that side. Okay, just about like that. Come on, you know you want to. We're over that blob. That's what holds it in place. Need to separate the panels just a little bit to get that in there, but not so much that all the windows fall out. Come on, you know you want to. You know that's where you got. That's where you belong. There we go. That in there. Although that does feel like something has gone wrong in there, and a window's probably popped out. No, they feel like they're okay. It's just not quite lining up because that's not right, maybe. Right, what I'm going to do is get one screw in and play around with that to figure out why that's not going in. I'll come back to you in just a moment. Okay, I've connected those in, got the screws in. Did have a couple of the windows pop out. That's why it wasn't going down quite as well as it should. But they're in there nice and secure now. It's one of those things that I would have been happier fitting the bulbs outside of the build and then threading the other end through to get it plugged in. I don't know why we didn't do that way around on this one, but there we go. I've bent these up so they're shaped to fit in there, a bit like that. Get that lined up in there, and that sort of sits in place. Then we're going to be using one of these. It says to use the green and yellow cable. Obviously, again, both of them are going to have to come through, I think, to the same place anyway, or at least thereabouts. So we'll get all of that through to there. Tweezers again. That back. No, you know you want to sit in that little groove where you want to be. There you go. It doesn't say to put that in place with a screw as yet, but it does say to put the green and yellow one over here. Let's bend that round out of the way. That goes over that side. Just like that. Says it will be held and fixed in place properly on the next step. Now it's easy to take the other one. Position the two protect panels as shown. Slot the holes into the skeleton inset. Right, so we've got these are obviously going over there. It says to make sure there's a bit there that's located which has already gone into the right place. So I need to get that there. Right. Are we not using that one in there? Feels like it should be, because this is going to cover over that and we're not going to be able to get to that anymore. I'm going to put that there because I can. If I need to get it back apart again, obviously I'll be able to do that anyway. I'm also going to make sure I'm not covering over that bulb there that I've already got in place. Bend that down. Get that there. Now, this wiring is not fun. It could and should have been made, in my opinion, very much easier by using less bulbs, basically, and better arrangements of them. So, yeah, I see why people are doing improvements and modifications to it. I'm still not going to. I'm going to stick with it as it is, as it says throughout the build, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, that I'm going to try and keep in there while this is going on over the top. That's going to be the fun bit. That's thereabouts, and hopefully that's just going to slip in. You've obviously got a couple of bits in different angles to get under in the right way round. Then that's going to pop out. It's all going to pop out. It's all going to be a nightmare trying to get everything lined up from 3 different directions at the same time. Got to get that end in first, or that's not going to stay. Might be I'm making life harder for myself by putting that bulb in place, but I feel like it needs to be. lever that side up while I'm doing this. So that's all together, and then that's there, and that should not line up at all under there. Something's preventing that from going down. It might be my bulb that I've got in a different place. It might not be. I don't really know. I can't tell from here. No, it's probably that one slipped out from there. I sort of want to glue these in place a little bit, but I don't want to glue things in place if I don't have to. You know what I mean? It's fun. It's all fun, isn't it? I mean, this is why we're doing it, because it's so much fun. Remember the fun we had with the thing and the other thing. Right, can I do this together like that and then get it down? Maybe. That feels like a way forward. I can get that and then put that in as one piece, maybe. Because it doesn't feel like it's going to go together any other way. Try that then. If I can get those lined up. Why is that groove there if not for this bulb to go into it? That's my thinking with that. You're not going to be able to get to the rest of this bulb if you don't put it in place there. Although it hasn't got the little notch that holds it in place like the other one has. I don't really know. I'm going to try and go with it and we'll see what happens. So if I can get this just in the right place so I can hold that there with that there. And maybe just maybe, slip that onto there. Like that. Oh, that feels like that's gone together. And then I can just get all of this together in there as one. It feels like it's getting there. It's not. It's gone back exactly the same as it was before with that bit off there. Right. Try that. That feels better. Feels like it's almost there. That's there. That's not quite there. There we go. It feels like that's there now. Now, before I screw anything in place, I'm going to flip the switch on. We've got lights coming on. That one doesn't seem to be lit up. Why is that the case? Right, I'm going to take this back apart, figure it out why that's not lighting up on there. Is that one still coming on? That bulb is no longer lit. So I've obviously disconnected something somewhere. So before I get into this, I'm going to figure out why that bulb is not coming on anymore. And we'll figure that out. I shall see you momentarily, hopefully, once this is together. There we go. The other end of the wire had indeed just come unplugged from the board. So once I traced it back, plugged it back in, it works again. 3 FM screws holding all of this in place down there. There's a little bit of a gap, but again, not too much, and I'm not overly concerned. There's still more of one down here, which may or may not sort itself out. We'll figure it out as we go around. But if I flick the switch, we have lights coming on here, here, and indeed all the way down there. There is a bit of light leakage down here, which is where I put that extra bulb. So I'm not entirely certain. I might just be able to fill that, or we'll see how it goes once it comes together a little bit more. But that is the end of this week's build. That's that. So far, so good. Lights are coming on and flashing and stuff and things. It's all getting a bit more symmetrical around the front here, although I know you can't see that from there. Here we go. Yeah, things are getting a little bit more moulded. So that's that. I shall see you very shortly for the next of this. The battery pack is still plugged in here. It's still plugged into the original position. I understand a few people have been plugging it into the extension piece here, but it didn't tell me to, or if it did, I've forgotten that. So I've left it as it is. I don't know exactly where that's going to end up being fitted. I'm assuming it's going to be that one that's fitted. I don't know. I'm just following the instructions to the best of my ability so far. So thank you very much. I shall see you for the next part very soon. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye for now.